The schooner Alexandria is rich in history. Built in 1929, she was originally named the Ingva and ported in Sweden. After years of operating as a fishing vessel, a cargo vessel, a merchant trader, and a sailing ship, the schooner was bought by the Alexandria Seaport Foundation of Alexandria, Virginia. There she served as a goodwill ambassador to the port, as well as a museum ship on the Potomac River. She was still a sturdy ship, but she had certainly seen her better days.
We had a good window of opportunity to get out into the water, make it down to Beaufort, North Carolina. That was our next stop. We're going to make several different stops on the way down to the Bahamas.
Well, I was the youngest person on the ship, so naturally I didn't want to question the older people's authority, and I had never been on a sailboat, so I just didn't question anybody. But when the engine went, I was kind of worried about that, because, I mean, wanted a combination of sails and engine to get there faster, but instead we just had sails. So I was a little bit skeptical, because we lost our engine like 6 hours out of Norfolk, and we were trying to go to the Bahamas, and that wasn't a good sign. Maybe as a prelude of things to come.
Coast Guard Air Station Elizabeth City receives a distress call relayed through from the merchant vessel Artis Crystal. The Alexandria is in trouble. Minutes later, the crew of the Alexandria begins abandoning ship.
Now put the Radiate 60 on the line. Now put the Radiate 60 on the line. Vessel taken on water 50 miles southeast of Cape Hatteras.
We got on a helicopter and got airborne as quick as we can, and we started heading out there. The merchant boat called us up, and we were talking to him, and he says, it looks like something's going on there. Everybody's up on deck. And he says, well, the life rafts are going in the water, and everybody's getting off the boat into the life rafts. And then he said, well, the Alexandria is going down, it's sinking. So that was probably about 10 minutes. They jumped into the raft, and then we were there.
Artis Crystal's 6th Coast Guard helicopter. In sight, we have the survivors raft in sight.
Yeah, I see you. I'm trying to get up and get close to them. I don't know if you want to go and pick them up or you want me to pick them up.
We'll go ahead and pick them up. We're almost positioned to do that. Over.
As the Coast Guard crew arrives on scene, they witness the entire life raft tipping over. Suddenly, all of the victims are in the water. What was a routine pickup is now a demanding rescue.
I came out the door and I looked out. I didn't see the people in the raft. I saw people scattered. So in my mind at that point, I'd start counting how many people were out there, so I knew. And then we picked the farthest one, and we went that way.
You all set, swimmer?
Try to hoist.
Gotta hurry up on this, fellas.
Swimmer's ready.
Come into the present position.
Roger.
Begin hoist.
Swimmer's out the door. Swimmer's out the door.
You can clear the water, Ward.
Will do.
Doug swam to the first person that was the furthest away from the raft. This person seemed to drift furthest away. And he got him into the basket. We hoisted him up.
Hold position, clear, take the load. Taking the load. Basket is clear water. We'll move back to left 20.
Instead of recovering Doug, he swam to the next person, and the next two people were kind of close together. So while Doug grabbed those two people and made sure they were okay, we moved off and we rescued another person.
Person is right out there at 1 o'clock. Survivors at 1 o'clock, about 10 yards.
We're going for this guy.
Right here, in the yellow.
We just put the basket down in the water, and that person climbed in the basket. It takes a little longer to do it that way. That's why we put Doug in the water, to make things go quicker. But since he had two survivors safely with him, we were able to go get the other one.
Forward right 10.
Every other, like, third swell was the bigger waves, and that would take us underwater. But they all were holding their breath. Nobody started choking or anything, so. And they weren't panicked. They had their life jackets on.
Basket is halfway up.
When we got them on board, Keith asked them, well, we heard there were 7 of you. Where are the other 2? So then they told us, well, they weren't able to get in the raft.
Coast Guard helicopter, you picked everyone up?
Negative.
Do you think there's some in the life raft?
I think there's some in the life raft. We're repositioning now.
We searched there for a while, and we just made our search a little bigger. We never did find them until we ran out of fuel.
Get on the radio and tell the Artis Crystal to have the Coast Guard launch a C-130 on scene, okay?
Okay.
word, tell them to launch another helicopter, max fuel. If we don't have all the survivors, they got to get out here and search.
Rescue check is complete.
C-130 flew out there, and I knew there was another helicopter on the way out.
And we kept on asking the Coast Guard people, have they found him yet? No, nothing yet. And I heard the second helicopter went out, and it was just, I knew as time went on that the chances of them finding were slowly diminishing.
While the rescued crew members' fears grow, the Coast Guard continues their search. Their own concerns mount as well. Locating two men without a raft in the open ocean is like trying to find a needle in a haystack. Stay with us. The historic schooner Alexandria has sunk, and 5 of the 7 crew members have been rescued by the Coast Guard. A second helicopter is searching for the missing 2, but their efforts have so far been unsuccessful. Harold Finney and Keith Boyer have been floating in the ocean for over 6 hours. The chances of their safe recovery are growing slim.
We knew that there had been 2 or 3 helicopters on scene already, and the C-130 had been searching since about 7 o'clock in the morning. They had been in the water for 4 or 5 hours. We knew that the longer they were in the water, the harder it was to find them. It was not promising. We were up at 300 feet when we spotted the first person, and he was waving at us. He looked happy. He was moving his arms. It appeared that he could climb into his basket by himself.
Coast Guard helicopter flew right by me, and at that point in time, my spirits are up. All of a sudden, I have all the energy in the world, and then they finally lowered the basket down to me. It was just such a relief. I was just ecstatic. Happy is such a wimpy word for the way I felt when I got up in there. It was just totally ecstatic. And then when I got up into the helicopter, he asked me where my friend was at. And that kind of just brought my mood back down again, because he asked me where Harold was at. And I said, I don't know. I thought you guys had him. But then like 20 seconds later, they found him.
When I finally got to Harold, I grabbed hold to him. I assured him, I let him know that it was going to be okay, that I had him. And I was trying to talk with him, but he was very lethargic. He did not move, didn't want to talk to me. I could tell he was very, just tired. For his age especially, he was very tired. He was very stiff. He didn't want to move. I had one hand on the hoist cable and the hook, and my other hand on Harold, and trying to push him in the basket and talking to him, telling him to bend his legs, and he didn't listen to me.
I was elated. These guys had been in the water for 5.5 hours. 2 or 3 other helicopters in C-130 were out searching for them. We couldn't find them, and we get on scene in a few minutes, find them, and they were safe and sound and on their way to the hospital.
Keith and Harold were immediately taken to Albemarle Hospital in Elizabeth City, North Carolina for treatment.
I always said I always wanted to be buried at sea, but I definitely didn't want to die at sea. I was really just preparing to die out there. I was making my peace with who I had to make my peace with, and it was just, I was actually just expecting that was going to be the end for me. Some sort of force that came over me told me to turn around. Something in the back of my head just said, turn around real quick. I turned around real quick and started waving, and there was the Coast Guard.
It was trying, at least. And then the choppers would come by, and here they come, you know, looked like coming right at you. And then there they go, there they go. So your emotions start to do a roller coaster ride. So I started talking to my maker. And I'll be darned, after looking up, there's the helicopter. He's waving his basket at me, like saying, "You want to lift?"
The Coast Guard attributes the warm Gulf Stream water for keeping the Alexandria crew alive. Unfortunately, 2 German shepherds that were with the crew apparently drowned. As for the Alexandria herself, she's lying peacefully on the sea floor. She enjoyed a long and fruitful service and will surely be missed. Don't go away, we'll be right back.